Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Thursday, 6th April 2017. I'm Fredicia Liebert. A delegation from the Gulf Insurance Limited based in Trinidad visited the construction site of the Mondo track at Long Point. Director of the Asuria Group, Sunil Nand Prasad, gave his impressions on the Mondo track.
What I saw yesterday, and still the kids do their utmost to present good times there. I think this will help them out also to go further in their profession as a sports. I'm very impressed and positively impressed. And to all you guys who are behind this, keep going the good job. You know, this is very important. Not only the youth, but the support from you guys. Our efforts behind you to keep this going up is very important.
Director of Youth in the Nevis Island Administration, Jamia Claxton, took the time to present a token of appreciation to the Gulf Insurance representatives.
On behalf of the Organized Committee for the Primary School Championship, the Gulf Insurance Primary School Championship, we'd like to present this token of appreciation for your contribution over the last 25 years, and we look forward to your continued support with this endeavor.
Managing Director Jason Clark accepted on behalf of Gulf Insurance.
On behalf of Gulf, I'd like to say thank you for this recognition for our support for the last 25 years. We look forward to continuing to support the Nevis Primary School sports for another 25 years and further. We believe in the development of the youths. The youths are our future, and Gulf is part of the development of the youths of Nevis.
This is the 25th year Gulf Insurance has sponsored the Inter-Primary Championship. The Culturama Committee a few weeks ago announced that the cultural village will be redesigned and reconstructed. They had given a March 31st deadline for booth owners to remove their booths. To date, only half of the booths have been removed despite a 2-week extension. Executive Director of the Secretariat, Abunati Liebert, made a final appeal earlier this week.
Actually, earlier this week, I called the owners of the remaining booths here and informed them that if their booths are not removed by this coming weekend, that we will have no other alternative but to have the booths dismantled and taken to the dump site. So please, I would want to encourage the remaining booth owners to come and assist us in getting the actual work started, because the hold-up that we are having right now is the fact that there are still 9 remaining booths at the cultural village that must be removed in order for us to commence the reconstruction phase of the cultural village.
The designs have already been completed and a contractor selected, and the committee and Ministry of Tourism are making preparations to begin work in the coming week.
We are targeting for the middle of April, April the 15th, middle of April. That is when we would be coming in. We will be coming in and we will be dismantling the stage, and any remaining booths we will have to dismantle them, and the actual construction of the stage would begin at that point. We are going to begin the reconstruction phase with the construction of the stage, and then we will move into placing the containers and having the containers customized into food courts.
According to Liebert, the containers have already been acquired and they are looking to place 12 containers in the village.
I would want to go on record to say that the persons who presently own structures here at the cultural village, they will be given first preference in terms of getting back their booths. So we have the Sunday's Fried Chicken, we have Ellison, we have Fish, we have Kem, and all those other persons who would have operated here at the cultural village over the past number of years. They would be given first preference in terms of getting back their booths. Now, many persons, and I may have said this before, many persons have met me and have asked me about the Rose Garden, aka the bullpen. We will be dismantling the bullpen, but we will be putting up another structure in place of the one that presently exists here. Presently, the bullpen has a wooden floor, and so we'll be putting in a concrete floor.
The committee is planning for the construction phase and placement of containers by the end of June in preparation for the village opening in the middle of July.
There's a plan that we would want to mount some flags right around on the perimeter walls to give the venue a sort of festive atmosphere. We'd want to have the containers painted with logos, with cultural figures, cultural icons. We would want to have the walls painted also bright festive colors, red, green, blue, yellow, orange. And so we would want to be out of here by the end of June, and then whatever finishing touches that we have to do, we'll come in the next 2 weeks and be prepared for the grand reopening of the cultural village.
The 43rd edition of the Nevis Culturama Festival takes place from Thursday 27th July to Tuesday 8th August 2017. St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris on Wednesday announced the establishment of a National Commission on Marijuana, Cannabis, Sativa to be headed by Acting Chief Medical Officer CMO Dr. Hazel Laws.
The other members of the commission will be named publicly after discussions are completed with the rest of the team. Membership, of course, is expected to be drawn inter alia from education, from health, from law enforcement, banking association, religious bodies, the Rastafarians, the young people, among other, of course, stakeholder groups, the media, and so the like. St. Kitts and Nevis, in my view, must determine through thoughtful reflection the kind of society it wants and what fashions and developments it wishes to emulate.
The Prime Minister also used his press conference at government headquarters on Wednesday to advise of the objectives of this commission when it is constituted.
And the objective is to facilitate national engagement on the issues surrounding the production and use of marijuana in St. Kitts and Nevis. A broad-based national commission would lead the national engagement on this very controversial subject. We wish that the commission would conduct or utilize research to guide an exhaustive consultation both in St. Kitts and in Nevis on the subject matter and make recommendations for the cabinet. I expect a vigorous inquiry into the social, the economic, the health and legal issues surrounding marijuana production and use in St. Kitts and Nevis as a precursor to a determination on the current classification of marijuana.
The Honorable Prime Minister pointed out that in 1961, the United Nations Single Convention on Narcotics Drugs, now referred to as the Convention on Psychotropic Substances, described marijuana as a Schedule I drug in the same serious category as opium, coca, their derivatives, heroin, and cocaine.
And in keeping with our consultative approach to government, the Cabinet on Monday agreed to the establishment of a national commission on marijuana. This would, of course, lead to the fulfillment of the promise we gave at our town hall meeting when the matter was raised, particularly in East Basti, and then I think in number 4 at Challengers, on the way forward for this.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Harris reminded all that the use of marijuana in St. Kitts and Nevis is still illegal and called on all citizens and residents to abide by the laws of the land. Still to come, Director of Information congratulates his staff for the coverage of the Inter-Primary Championship. The details are after this break.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to finance free health care at all health centers on Nevis. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis. Be a responsible citizen.
Welcome back. Beginning this weekend, the 2016-2017 class of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis will be exposed to further training. The training, which is being spearheaded by the Department of Youth Empowerment, is intended to reinforce their positive traits and ensure their contribution to the development and well-being of their respective communities and the nation. The first session will take place this Saturday, April 8th, in the conference room of the Nevis Disaster Management Department at Long Point. It will focus on improving leadership as well as interviewing and networking skills. A second workshop will also be held in Nevis on April 22nd. This workshop will focus on project development, time management, and volunteerism. The awardees will use the skills from that session to develop their group projects and share concepts. Youth Officer Sahira David said the trainings are being held in Nevis in support of the Sister Islands commemoration of Youth Month. This marks the first time the workshops are being held in Nevis since the award initiative was introduced in 2011. David said the topics were chosen by the new 25 Most Remarkable Teen Committee, which is comprised of officials from the departments responsible for youth in St. Kitts and in Nevis. David added that she was looking forward to having wonderful and interactive sessions in Nevis. The projects coming out of the sessions will be implemented after the training and must be completed by the end of October. The outcomes will be displayed during Youth Month, which is celebrated annually in November on St. Kitts. Over the years, the Department of Information has done live coverage of the Gulf Insurance Interprimary Championship, which takes place at the El Camido T. Willits Park. According to the Director of Information, Huey Sargent, this year was one of the biggest productions the team has ever done in terms of coverage of interprimary, and persons in the public have reached out to show their appreciation to the team for the tremendous work they put forward in making the technical aspects a success. Director of the department took the time out to show appreciation to his staff and to those who collaborated with him.
Well, the Department of Information performed creditably, and we've received numerous messages of congratulations from on social media, people meeting staff members in the street, just really thanking us for the coverage. Most people see the easy part of it, but then there is a really hard and stressful part. And I want to thank the staff at NTV for going above and beyond the call of duty every year.
Sargent also took the time to single out each member of the camera crew who ably covered yesterday's event.
We want to thank first the camera persons, Kerry Williams, Irvin Ounce Weeks, Edison Paris, Andrew Warner, Sheldon Joseph, Judith Dason, Ramy Gums. Our engineer, Stuart Jeffers, who I would call a whiz with wires. He gets everything connected and make sure that it is seamless. We want to congratulate and thank as well Cornerstone Productions, led by Irvin Pinney. And they did an excellent job in terms of putting everything together. They had a piece of equipment that we realized that would have just taken the production from an ordinary level to an extraordinary level. And finally, coordinator, producer, Malcolm George Ramsey, who kept everything together, kept everybody on their toes, and made sure that the production is what we wanted and something that our viewers totally enjoyed.
He also expressed thanks to the production team who were stationed at the ETW Park. He finally expressed his thanks to the Nevis Island Administration's Information Technology Department.
To do a production like this, the technology has allowed us to do it maybe a little cheaper, but also do it better. The IT department of the Nevis Island Administration, Quincy Prentice, Craig David and the guys, they made sure that they had a very stable network where our signals from the park were transmitted to our offices on Craddock Road, and then we were able to send it locally as well as put it on Facebook Live, put it on Nevis TV Online Live. And we also had an app that we would have launched. Well, it was not officially launched, but a couple of persons, we invited them to try our app, and the production was flawless.
Sargent stated that it was a team effort and commended the commentators for the event in the persons of Dr. Patrick Martin, Brian Dow, Rohan Isles, Ronald Powell, Carl Tuckett, Keith Scarborough, Abernathy Liebert, and Rudy Brown for giving the live feed that extra touch. The Department of Information received various phone calls and congratulatory remarks from various persons in the community, including businessman Carl Claxton.
I see something real. I see something modern. I see that we are ahead of the game and persons are now catching up. So I believe that they have looked at a good team. They have a good team. But when I really look at NTV, I believe Mr. Sargent emulates a bit of Mr. Herbert at the powerhouse. And he very subtly makes some moves, and at the end of the day, the reward is there for everybody to see. So I would like to commend Mr. Sargent and his staff, and I'm not going to forget Ramsey. He's one of me, right? For the good job that they continue to do, and I give them every high praises.
The Gulf Insurance Inter-Primary Championship was aired live on www.nevistvonline.com. Persons can also log on to view the Nevis Newscast and other programming. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Fredisa Liebert. Thank you for viewing.